Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we're seeing and hearing some of the craziest news I think I've ever seen so far when it comes to this YouTube channel, probably the top 5 at least, where right now, and you guys are gonna be probably very confused such as I am, right now we are now seeing countries such as Russia that are now saying who cares about Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, all the other various consoles, and they're deciding just to go and basically make their own brand new gaming console. Now, this is going to be some really weird news because it kind of makes sense, but also it kind of doesn't make sense. And also, I'm very curious on what's even going to happen in the first and foremost. I'm very weird. But at the same time, apparently, Vladimir Putin might be trying to go make a brand new Xbox. Who would have thought? The world is just a really, really strange place when it comes to gaming news as a whole now, isn't it? So anyway, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications live. We're probably live up on Twitch after this video is all done. And tomorrow I have some pretty fun videos as well, so be on the lookout for that. And let's go and dive on into the video itself. So you guys heard me pretty correctly. There's not much more else I can kind of say besides, yes, at this point, Putin is now ordering the reboot of the Russian gaming industry. What? So, before I even fully deep and dive in this one, God only knows. Basically, right now, if you guys don't know, Russia is very sanctioned off. Like, at this point, many American and also around the entire world, basically businesses are not allowed to go and do business with Russia. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are trying to be like, hey, what Russia's doing is bad in terms of, like, the government politics. Let's go and put it's like basically a stipend on them and make sure that we're not moving and stuff over there. Basically, like, say, like, companies like McDonald's or KFC are not necessarily allowed to operate there. You're not allowed to send like, Bitcoin or USD or gold or do proper trade with Russia. So basically, a lot of companies have been completely shut out. Like, you're not allowed to have, let's say, for example, PS5 or Xbox to have a big shipment of consoles sending into Russia, because at this point, then basically, like, so they might, like, United States government would probably assume that that's not good. They wouldn't like it. It's like just against like a big legality, and it's meant to more so impose and hurt their country because we don't like necessarily approve of what they're doing. It's kind of like just the idea of the government kind of attack on it. So obviously, when it comes to gaming as a whole and the entertainment industry as a whole, movies, video games, and all of this are really big in the gaming sphere. And also in the world sphere, but entertainment spheres are even bigger. Where obviously some people, let's say, kind of meme on Russia. Well, they'll be playing Dota 2 or CSGO, because I've actually literally played games with Russians who yell at me in Russian. But at the same exact time, it's like it's a somewhat big country. It's big, both landmass, but also there's a lot of people living on there in the first place. So what do you want to do to keep and maintain your morale for your country? You want to go and make sure things are being produced and sold. So right now, it seems like Russia is realizing that Xbox or Nintendo or PlayStation may not be actually kind of being able to be made and sold in their, well, country itself, so they might be trying to restart their own gaming world, saying the president has given the government until June to consider the development of domestically produced gaming systems. Now, I have no idea what this is going to entail, but it almost reminds me of like an old school like Sega or some weird like spin-off console. Although I do kind of think a lot of the time just having PC and PC gaming as a whole and having a chance to go run things on, say, Steam or EA or have a bootleg like download system would probably make a lot more sense, like a streamability, like a Game Pass, but for the Russian government, I don't know. But it's crazy to go into that they want to go and have until June to consider making their own brand new console. So President Vladimir Putin has instructed the government to weigh requirements for organizing production of both stationary and portable gaming consoles in Russia. What? According to a statement published by the Kremlin's official website on Wednesday. So this might be a win. I mean, at the end of the day, this might be a win. A lot of Russians do enjoy their certain genres, like I said, like CSGO or Dota. Like, they're on top of this. Like, they're vibing this. They're cool with it. But at the end of the day, this is probably one of the weirdest gaming news ever. Saying Putin's order was issued following a meeting on the socio-economic development of the Kaliningrad region. Aside from consoles, the president also called on the cabinet of ministers to consider developing a special operating system and a cloud system for delivering games and programs to users. Which, at the end of the day, like, besides the fact that it's Russia, this is kind of a nifty idea. Basically saying, hey, we want this, we're getting cut out from the world, let's just go make our own. Now, granted, most of the gaming sphere is based on a lot of people pulled together, so many different various companies like an EA, Ubisoft, whatever, PlayStation Studios, but it also makes a lot of indie games too as well, kind of falling to the people a lot of options, just to have a lot of chances to play stuff. So the deadline for executing the order has been set at June 15th of 2024. The Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mushustin has been designated as the person responsible for overseeing completion of the task. So like right now, they're literally making their own PlayStation or Xbox. Now, once again, though, I do kind of think PC is probably the best thing to look at. Mainly the fact of like you can probably pre-make a very easy, cheaper PC everywhere, a lot easier to be able to run most games, most movies, most programs. The cloud system and data center for delivering games though is more intriguing, same with the programs, and we're also not necessarily sure based on like just more of a skepticism of what else could maybe be included in that. Like what if there's more even intensive stuff or like rootware or spyware on that and developed into your computer where you connect to the cloud and you have a chance to maybe go and even stream your own screen to other people. I'm not sure there's like a negative side towards this, and I also probably want to trust this myself if the government was involved. Not that I would trust Google or Microsoft or whatever a little bit more, but still kind of crazy to go and see. But basically saying this is the Organization for Developing the Video Game Industry, the RVI, presented a 5-year roadmap to the government in February that laid out an 83-point program for developing video games in Russia. RVI said this year it plans to re-establish relations with various funds and organizations in international gaming that have ties to Russia and establish ways to consistently support the development of video games inside the country. The organization has also said the creation of a full-fledged game console is planned for 2026 to 2027. So either way, they're trying to be like, hey, like maybe there's other outside companies and like maybe we have our own Russian-based game devs. Let's go and support them. Let's maybe have other countries who support Russia or don't mind doing trade with Russia. Maybe think like Middle East, who may have a chance to develop their own games. Very intriguing to go and see where this might end up going. So meanwhile, earlier this month, Russia concluded its first games of the Future tournament, which took place in the city of Kazan between February 21st and March 3rd. The physical and digital format of the competition combined traditional sports and cyber sports in a unique mix in 21 combined disciplines. This include physical football, hockey, and basketball, as well as more traditional cyber sports and high-tech contests such as drone racing, competitive programming, and robot battles. The first ever iteration of the tournament involved more than 230 teams too as well. So basically just crazy to see that Russia is like, hey, we want to either find developers or funnel gaming as a whole and build our own gaming console to be released for everyone. Now this is kind of crazy too because like I said, it's kind of like, again, competing against all like the sanctions and like siphons they have for their country. Basically because they don't have PlayStations or Xboxes, or if they were, just not as many as you'd expect. And it's crazy to go and see because they're like, hey, we'll just take matters in our own hands. Now, would this turn out well? I don't know, because how many games would they have? How many game developers do they own? Or is it like just 3 games a year? I'm very curious on how they'd have their own like version of Game Pass or Steam. It kind of more so seems in the cloud system for delivering games and programs. Sounds more like Steam than anything else. But it's intriguing because this is like them saying, hey, we're going to make our own console. Hey, we're going to make our own cloud gaming for PC. And hey, let's just not care about what the rest of the world has to go and think. Let's go do our own thing. Same thing too as well. I've been hearing news that Russia's been banned from the Olympics. So I'm almost kind of curious if they just make their own Olympics too as well for Russia. So very intriguing story to go and see. I want to hear your thoughts and everything down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch down below. And I appreciate you guys all very much for watching in the first place.